2016. Item number 2, consent items. Item number 2A, approval of regular meeting minutes from November 17, 2016.
Any comments on the agenda minutes?
I move approval.
Any seconds?
I second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioners Deaver, Verhoeven-Essien,
Abstain?
Oshagan,
Yes.
Sahakian,
Abstain.
Chairperson Sharikian.
Yes.
Item number 3, introductions and presentations. At item number 3A, Library Arts and Culture events presented by Chuck White, Community Relations Manager. Good afternoon, Commission. Give you a quick rundown of the upcoming events at our library department. Start out with Brand Library, always festive. Saturday, December 17, 6:30. They will have the second of a 2-weekend-long open house. They had a good crowd last week. I wasn't able to get a picture, but they have new tote bags, special holiday-flavored tote bags to go along with their regular ones. Plus, they have a lot of music, and the doctor's house is open for tours and so forth. That's this coming Saturday. They started something called a Book to Art Club. They've done really well with it. It's not only a book club, but the participants make some kind of art project when they get together to talk about the book. So the next one, Saturday, January 7th, 2017, 7 p.m., and that'll be The Alchemist. NEXUS and In a Dream. This show is still on view through January 7th, 2017 at the Brand Library. It's a great-looking, kind of modern, cool, hip exhibition, and it's a lot of fun. It's real playful and interesting. They have a music animated program that's really for families, so not just adults, but children also. This next one coming up is called Ancient Homelands. This performer has been at the Brand Library before with an Aztec dance group. He actually will demonstrate how to make flutes and drums, and everybody will get to make their own flute or drum. Saturday, January 21 at 10:30 at Brand Library. Brand Associates have a music series that they fund, and there's a number of performances coming up. First one will be with a pianist, and that's on Saturday, January 28, 2 p.m. Our library staff is out and about because Central Library is closed, so there's more staff at our neighborhood libraries. So they've been coming up with all kinds of great ideas to get people into the branches. So there's an adult crafts and coloring program. They've got it not just January, but also February. They go on. Teen art, they'll do that once a month at Pacific Park. And there are 3 different yarn groups that have approached us over the years, and they are at 3 different branch libraries. 2 of them produce crochet, yarn, so forth, and they give them away to holiday times. But you don't have to be an experienced knitter. You can come in, they'll teach you how, all the supplies are right there, so we've got a bunch of different programs. One and only Ivan. Catherine Applegate was our one book, one Glendale author for young people this year. And, just to put the notion that people don't read out there, it's not true. You can look, that's the Adult Recreation Center. It was packed on a Friday night with children and families that had come to see Catherine talk about her book. It was a great program, great turnout, once again. We were very happy to put that on. Upcoming in January, Tippi Hedren. A fairly famous actress. She was in Marnie and the Birds. She's coming on Thursday, January 26th, again to the Adult Recreation Center. Fine actress. She had a long career. She had a relationship particularly with Alfred Hitchcock, Her daughter is Melanie Griffith. One of her granddaughters is Dakota Johnson. So acting, I guess, runs in the family, but she will be at the Adult Rec Center on the 26th of January. Once again, we are still offering Freegal, which is an online streaming service. You get whole albums, it says here. Today's top hits, older tunes. You don't have to just get the newest Shakira CD. There are symphonies, orchestral pieces, literally millions of pieces of music that you can download or stream on your mobile device, on your computer. You name it. This is the Central Library I mentioned with our renovation. On the right-hand side is our new front door that leads out to Harvard. That was never there before. On the left-hand side, up on the top left, that was the administration office. It's going to be a giant reading spa. Open to the south to Central Park, and to the north you'll have a great view of the that whole floor area. The floor area, let's see, there's some workers there in the orange, and right behind them there's a structure, you can't quite tell what it is, but there's a clock up there that used to be very prominent in our Central Library, and it is now going to be prominently featured on an elevator. That'll be for the public. So we're very excited. And this is a photo you couldn't have taken 10 years ago. There's a kind of a cutout hole in the children's room. So I was able to walk back there with my hard hat and poke a camera out across the main hall. So, Central Library, reimagining our Central Library, coming soon. In fact, entertainment space will be there. We're decking out the auditorium, recording studio facilities or components. There's going to be a green room up there. It's going to be quite nice. A maker space for artists, maybe computer folks to make things. And the reopening date, test of this now because Cindy says we're opening up, March 23rd, 2017. Is that a Thursday? Yes, it's a Thursday. We're not changing this date, so put it on your calendar and we'll all be there.
Commission meeting on that day?
Yeah, we're all going to be there. And there are a number of programs that the commission is funded for that.
We can't be there, Chuck, because we have a commission meeting.
You have a commission meeting? Is that, maybe there's some way. We should hold a commission meeting there. Wouldn't that be quite a little...
Very public meeting.
Yeah, it's a very public meeting. We have a lot of space now. We can put you up on the main floor. If you're interested, you can give me a call at Library Administration at 818-548-2030. You can go to our website, glendalelac.org, and you can catch us on social media also. That's my report.
Thank you. Chuck, any questions? Okay, that sounds good. Next item, please.
Item number 4, oral communications. We have
None.
no visitors today. Item number 5, the business agenda. At 5A, discussion item, Arts and Culture Commission project updates, work plan elements, and status.
Good afternoon, Chair Sharikian and members of the Arts and Culture Commission. I'm Sharon Mann Garrett, your Principal Library Arts and Culture Administrator. And today, at midpoint of our work plan, we thought it would be a good idea to just go through the project, the funding, let you know where we are, what we spent, and what we're planning for the remainder of the work plan year. So, before we get started, just wanted to frame this as a discussion item. So, I believe you all are welcome to chime in at any point, ask any questions, either at the end or in the middle of this presentation. These are all items that we've reviewed over the past few months, but just putting them all together as what our program is. So the first the first thing I'm going to talk about is all of our projects in funding. So what you see here is the 2013-2015 work plan funding, things that were carried over into this year, and then the 2015 to 2017 work plan funding. So these are all the projects that will be discussed in this report. The first one was held on September the 17th. It was the Glendale Open Arts and Music Festival. This was a signature art event that you had approved in your 2013-2015 work plan. Glendale Arts was selected to produce the festival. They named it Glendale Open Arts and Music Festival, and they have proclaimed that it will be an annual event. So you've basically given them seed money to continue on with this event. The event had 2 stages of music, kids' activities, a beer garden and a wine garden, a theatrical improvisation workshop, in addition to traditional art fair booths and food trucks. Attendance was estimated at 3,000 participants. The next event that you authorized was the Glendale Open Studios Tour. It is a tour of artist studios throughout the city of Glendale. It also coincided with an installation of Beyond the Box utility mural box installations. In all, there were 25 artist studio locations and 14 mural boxes installed. The studios reported hosting 50 to 80 tour goers over the 2-day event. So the people who hosted the tour goers were very satisfied with the amount of traffic that they had. The event was relatively inexpensive at $15,000 to produce. The next element in your work plan is the Performing Arts Series, which is the Plaza Series at the Brand Library and Arts Center. For this, your 2-year budget is $50,000, and we anticipate we'll spend a total of $29,700. So we're going to be slightly underspent on this one. We are continuing with a diverse mix of talented performing artists at the Brand. They are somewhat traditional performances, but they've become a very popular offering at the Brand, bringing large and diverse audiences up there. So for the summer of 2016, there were 13 artists for the series, and a call for artists for the 2017 summer series will start around March. The next program is the Beyond the Box Utility Mural program. It's a very, very exciting and much enjoyed program by artists and community alike. We're continuing with this program that's now in its 3rd year. Currently, 82 murals have been completed by the program, and we've been doing them at installation waves of 10 to 15 at a time. We've realized that 10 to 15 is about all that we could handle in terms of staffing, not necessarily the installations themselves, but the myriad of paperwork to get the artists set up and paid and so on. It's a very laborious process, but well worth it. The budget for the work plan was $50,000, and we're forecasting to spend $45,000 of that by the end of the work plan activity. The next project that you've approved was the Public Art Master Plan, which we've been discussing for quite a long time. There was considerable discussion about this plan, considerable review of various consultants who wanted to produce our Public Art Master Plan, and in the end, you selected Cars Goldstein, which is a collaboration of 2 really renowned community engagement art groups. There was a thorough vetting process with an expanded budget. The initial budget was $50,000, but after our year-long review, we concluded that that was not enough money to get the level of plan that we wanted. So we went back to the City Council and asked for an additional $75,000, which they granted last week. So we're very excited about getting Cars Goldstein working on this. Right now, we're in the contract review process. They're proposing their contract terms, and we're reviewing those.
Sharon, when do you expect them to start working then?
As soon as their contract is finalized. They have indicated that they're okay with our standard contract, so that's just verbal, but they need to form some type of legal relationship to do this contract, so that they're forming a partnership, and then they will propose as
Between
partners.
Golston and Cars, they need a legal relationship so that they can do the work.
They're vetting that relationship right now. A partnership is what I expect. However, they may come back and she may be a self-consultant. I'm not sure. But that's what they're working on right now. So once they form their legal identity, they will complete their contract and submit it to us for our review. And as soon as that contract is done, we are ready to go.
But so when do you see that? Do you see 2 months, 2 weeks, January 1st they start?
I
or
anticipate March,
March.
Considering what contract review takes
Jeez.
for us. So,
Let me review that contract. 15 minutes.
This is a very expensive contract, and there's a lot of activity. The payment schedule alone is something that will take some negotiation to make sure that we're paying them at the appropriate times and appropriate milestones, and that both sides are protected in the event of a separation. That's what it's about. There's several phases of this contract. It's about a 9-month process. So, for example, we're discussing whether or not we should pay them monthly or pay them at the end of each phase. That sort of conversation is what's happening within the contract negotiation.
A question, if you are going to talk about this later, we can skip it, but in relation to that is going to inform a lot of the decisions moving forward with other programs and such. Is there a timeline for when this commission will be visiting the new work plan, and is there a thought about how that's going to be coordinated, knowing that we're a year off or so from having the PAMP completed?
We have discussed, instead of having a 2-year work plan, having a 1-year work plan, that because of the fact that the public art master plan would be done. My off the cuff thought would be that the elements of the next work plan would be things that we're very familiar with, and that we would preclude anything that needed policy review to the public art master plan compilation. I do anticipate presenting that work plan to you either next month or in February. However, the public art master plan is really a policy document that helps us responsibly deploy the urban art fund. So it will look at all the different aspects of public art, from public works all the way through urban design, and give us hopefully some really excellent recommendations on what we should do. The next program that you've authorized is our Pop-Up Arts program. We've named that AHA, which means Art Happens Anywhere. This program's in its inaugural year, and it's designed to complement the city's 18-hour initiative, which encourages sort of upgraded lifestyle experiences for residents and visitors of Glendale. A request for proposals was issued for the AHA program, and to date, I've received 5 submissions. Your report says 4, but I've received 5. And I've received numerous phone calls in addition to that. So our RFP did encourage artists to contact us and discuss their proposals so that we can help them propose something that would be truly interesting and truly aligned with the theme of pop-up arts. And to date, we have one proposal that has passed the initial screening and is being developed in cooperation with the artist. This is a depiction of the artist here, which I thought his fingernails really represented art happening anywhere. But we have received a very interesting submission from him, and we're looking forward to vetting that through our Public Works Department and our Parks Department.
Question, which commissioners are on that project?
Commissioner Deaver and Commissioner Oshagan. And we worked together to develop a screening process. We didn't want to just bring any proposal to them knowing that it didn't conform with the theme or might not be something that's interesting or edgy enough for this program. So we developed a screening criteria. The first criteria is that it's truly aligned with the theme, that it's something that's about unexpected art in unexpected places. Another criteria is that it's something that's feasible or doable with the staff that we have, it's safe, and it makes sense. And then a third criteria would be the locality of the artist, and then budget and so on. So our number one criteria is that it's absolutely aligned with the theme. We want to make sure that this is our most edgy program, our most interesting program. It's something that sets us apart in terms of a public art organization.
Do we know when something like this will pop up?
I did have we're looking for the pop-up. We did have a meeting just today for this one particular artwork, and if it does pass our vetting process, it could begin as early as February.
Well, the reason I'm asking this, there must be some type of advertising or something that we need to tell the public that there will be some type of pop-up art within a week or two, so the public is recognized and at least they are aware that, so they can go and see. Otherwise,
absolutely.
I mean, if nobody knows about it, nobody's going to enjoy it.
One thing that I'm exceptionally proud about our team is our social media presence. We have 7,500 mailboxes that open our emails whenever we distribute them, which is really phenomenal considering that we have 8,000 names. So that's a huge percentage of people that open our emails. We also send out information to many art organizations, newspapers. We're very friendly with the Los Angeles Times reporter that covers Glendale. So as soon as we're ready to announce this, we do plan a major social media and traditional media push. We wouldn't be doing any traditional advertising, but just regular public relations.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's on all of our programs.
Thank you.
I could add, so it is pop-up, so that is, it's this project that we're talking about happens in parks and things, and so the whole idea of it is people just kind of run into it. So we may not need such a big opening thing on some of these projects, so it depends on the project.
But at least let the commission know.
Well, the one that we're talking about is so interesting that I just can't wait to talk about it as soon as it's approved.
Okay.
The next program, which is not really a part of our work plan, is the Adams Square Mini Park project. We are installing art in Adams Square. We've got a schedule for this year with 4 different installations. We had one installation over the Halloween holiday, which was very well attended. There were lots of fanfare around that. That community really did receive that very well. We'll have another installation in January. The artist is now putting together her approach to that installation. We look forward to figuring out how to make this project a part of our work plan for next year. So we will be negotiating with our Parks Department that currently own this real estate to see how we can coordinate to move this over to arts and culture.
Question, I just want to clarify, because I thought it was part of our work plan, it's just not under the Urban Art Fund.
Well, the work plan is the Urban Art Fund deployment, so it's part of our work, but the work plan is really the funding of the Urban Art Fund. So this is not funded by the Urban.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So the idea is that hopefully, or we're talking about the contextually putting it under the Urban Art Fund.
Precisely. Thank you. The next program that we have is Temporary Art in Public Spaces. That program has a budget of $100,000, and to date we've spent $3,000. Our first spending on that was for Maryland Cool Nights, which was the citywide closure of Maryland Avenue. That was an experiment to see that if the city could activate Maryland Avenue, closing it, making it more pedestrian-friendly, a more enjoyable focal point for the city's art and entertainment district. And the Arts and Culture Commission participated in that program by providing $3,000 worth of entertainment in the late summer. The entertainment was very well received, and the people that enjoyed it really liked it. The City Council has said that they would like to continue with the program of closing Maryland and to continue to create buzz around that closure. The second program for temporary art in public spaces is Painted Crosswalks, which is a program that you authorized at your last meeting. You've approved funding for the installation of colorfully painted crosswalks as a part of the citywide Safe and Healthy Streets initiative. So we just had our first launch meeting on that. The committee would be myself, a representative from Neighborhood Services, and a representative from public works, traffic engineering. So we're taking a look at our initial concepts and our initial concepts in terms of business concepts. We're not looking at any art concepts yet, but we're looking at our business terms to see if they make sense because they were just estimated based on best practices. We're looking at the methodologies of installing the color within the crosswalks. Are there preferred colors? Are there preferred methodologies that work best? And we're checking with our peer cities who've done this to see if we can learn some lessons from them. So we've just launched that initiative. Our feeling is that once we decide on the methodology or agree on the methodology and the budget, that we would do a call to artists probably in January or February, and the installation could occur around the time of the grand opening of Central Library. The first colorful crosswalks would be in this intersection in front of the Central Library, so the three legs of that crosswalk would be done. You agreed that you wanted to do that crosswalk intersection first and see what lessons we learned from that, and then move on to the other one you authorized, which is at Maryland and Harvard. The next project that you've authorized from the Temporary Art and Public Spaces budget is the Central Library Grand Reopening Entertainment. You've allocated or you've approved an expenditure of $5,000 for the two main events associated with the grand reopening. The one main event is a community-wide celebration, which will be on March the 23rd. Our hope is that it will begin with high school marching band and have a very fun and family-friendly entertainment that would really welcome the public into the renovated library. The second event that we would use this funding for is our Technology, Arts, and Culture Night, which would be the Friday night after the grand reopening. That event would be more aimed at our downtown urbanites who may or may not have ever used the library before, to demonstrate to them that the library is a place where they can get content, make their own content, have a good time, read, explore, and experience opportunity for lifelong learning. For that entertainment, we're looking for more adult-themed, more interesting, more edgy entertainment, and we are conducting auditions for that right now. The final thing that you authorized within Temporary Art and Public Spaces is an ongoing entertainment series, and that would be for the front steps of the renovated Central Library. Over on the right-hand side, there's a rather large area where we could have performance art, and you've authorized $15,000 for us to create a series for that. It would be administered much like our brand Library Plaza series. However, our hope would be that the entertainment would be more avant-garde, more interesting, and more edgy entertainment for the downtown, because we're looking to attract people that are passing by, people that are shopping, people that work downtown, not necessarily people who are going to a show that's been scheduled. So we're hoping that the entertainment that we attract for that will be a little bit more out of the box. And finally, in your report, you have and the final things that were discussed in your work plan were the acquisition of permanent public art, murals on city property, and Arts and Culture Commission branding. We believe that all three of those need some policy guidance and might be part of the Public Art Master Plan. Currently, the Arts and Culture Commission branding simply is your logo and your reputation. So we would like to create some real branding around the Arts and Culture Commission, and we've set aside a budget of $20,000 for that. Go ahead.
Okay, any questions, any comments regarding all the points, of course?
Your final, I'd just like to add your final page in the report has a snapshot of all the monies that you've authorized, all that you've spent, and where you stand in terms of the work plan now. So we're very close to on target for our budget.
Okay.
That concludes my report. Again, this is for discussion. If you have any discussion with this, be more than happy to receive any feedback or questions.
I have at least one comment regarding the opening of Central Library. I've noticed that in the past there were some street banners across Glendale College on the bridge, they would put that there is a certain event. Can we have a street banner across that bridge? One option. And also, how about on Brand across Americana? Because that will be very close to the central library, something that the passerby can see.
We have been in contact with the Downtown Glendale Association, and they kind of govern what those banners say, and we've arranged to install about $5,000 worth, I'm not exactly sure how many banners that is, up and down Grand Boulevard that announces that the Central Library is grand reopening, and we've reserved those for the months of March and April. The banner that goes by Glendale Community College, I'm not sure who controls that, but I'll definitely take a look and see if there's something we can do there as well.
I want to reiterate, I think that we need to have two basic areas, Brand and the other one, the bridge next to the college, kind of covers the city more. Otherwise, it's only on one direction. So that would be a great idea if you follow up on that.
Sure will.
My second comment will be regarding the utility boxes. That the picture that you showed us here, which was on Colorado and right next to the library, is the perfect example where the artist has blended in with that addition box that has been installed. Have we resolved the other boxes that the additional box was installed after the painting was done?
Yes, we have identified which ones need to be updated, and we will be installing those updates on January the 21st. We've contacted those artists. They're prepared to do their repairs.
Are we providing certain fund to them?
We are providing funding from them out of our maintenance budget.
I see. Okay. All right. Other comments, questions? Yes.
I had one question. The performing arts series, where forecast total expenses is $29,000. What is that difference between what we projected and what we're actually spending? Is that we're doing less performances than we thought, or are we spending less?
We're doing fewer performances than we thought, and we're paying less for those performances than I think we originally budgeted. One aspect of our limitations is staffing. So we are able to dream up anything, but can we actually manage the actual process? Currently, we only have a couple of staff members that are available to manage this process. So hopefully within the Public Art Master Plan, we may identify what staffing we need and move forward with getting additional staffing. For the series at Central Library, since we do have considerable circulation staff there, we're hoping to cross-train some members of the library staff in coordinating with our entertainment.
Great. And one last question. While we're talking about kind of marketing and promotion, it's great that we have the email list as strong as we do, and it's everybody makes their best efforts to kind of tell as many people as possible. But I can't count how many times in the past year, whether it's the Open Studios tour, the festival, the number of people, despite us sharing it on social media and everything else, the number of people that say, why didn't I know about this? One question I've always had, and I know it's going to become a policy nightmare to manage, but the only way I see that we can actually guarantee that every resident in the city actually knows what's going on is the Glendale Water and Power Bill. And I was just wondering if staff can go back and kind of look into the potential of using that as a way of, notifying the public of opportunities, whether it's our department or other departments in the city in terms of events and opportunities that are happening, because we all do so much, but unfortunately not every resident knows we're doing it, and it'd be nice if we can find ways to kind of reach more people.
I'll certainly take that suggestion and move forward with it. I think it's a great way that we could partner with another really important department and get them involved in arts and culture and service our residents better. So I'll definitely follow up on that.
Thank you.
Can I say something? I like the idea very much, because besides the bill, you would have something that is more informative or actually pleasant that the city does for people. This way we are asking for people to pay us, as a city I'm talking, and by announcing this kind of a thing, we are showing what we are offering at different times. So it would be a very nice idea if it flies. I like that.
I'll certainly follow up on that.
Great idea. Commissioner Sarkia.
Comments? Any other suggestions?
Nothing. It's just I wanted to say fantastic presentation. A lot of work that is being done. I hope more people would watch and know what the city and the commission does, because sometimes they ask that question. And I have a question also. So with Central Library opening, are we going to kind of spread the performance on the plaza partially there and partially here, or how would that work?
Here, do you mean here at City Hall?
Meaning the Central Library.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Because Central Library, you have an area for performance, as you said. So are we going to utilize, are we going to have some of the activities or kind of spread the performing arts that we have, the performances that we do at the plaza? Meanwhile, we would also have programs, because we do have the money
Yes.
to do it at the Central Library as well. Because here, there are more pedestrians, there are more people who can walk to. The other one needs a lot of commuting. So is there a way we are going to do that, or we are going to plan on that? How
Yes,
does that work?
we hope that we're able to conduct both series at the same time. Our only limitation really is staffing. It's not funding.
Sounds great.
So-
Sounds great. Especially with this beautiful kind
Absolutely.
of renovation, I do think that we need to flaunt and invite more people to come and see what, from this department, how things are working and how much work is being done.
At our grand reopening, we intend to have entertainment throughout the building, not just on the front plaza, to kind of usher the community through the building so they can see what the possibilities are. We have a state-of-the-art auditorium that will have some lovely sound equipment in it, and we'd like to show the public what that can mean to them in terms of having some performance art there that they can enjoy and maybe think about things in the future. We'll have, for example, we'll have music being played in the children's room. We're going to have some stuff on the outside. For the Tech Arts and Culture Night, 97.1 AMP Radio is going to join us and be broadcasting in front of the library with Contemporary Hits Radio. So we do expect that there will be lots of fanfare around the grand reopening and then continuing on.
So I'm really excited about it. I know that a lot, with being with Glendale Unified for years, I've seen how much work is being done and how Central Library has been a great focus and a great supporter of a lot of programs and for our youngsters who are going to our schools. But now, and our auditorium also, it was fantastic. We had fantastic presentations. Authors, great people that, they have done fantastic things that needs to be shared with the community. So now with the state of the art and more of that, I do believe that Central Library could become the focus for the art and culture in every possible way. So we are looking forward into seeing how that auditorium is going to look, and with all the state-of-the-art explanations that you have, that we do have for that place. So it is very exciting for our community. Thank you.
Yeah, we think it's very exciting that we are aiming to be not just a Glendale destination, but a regional destination. When we're able to bring in partners like 97.1 AMP Radio, we've also been talking to FIDM, which is the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising, about working with us to outfit our makerspace. We're obviously catching a lot of regional attention, and our facility will be one like no other in Southern California. So we have a real opportunity within the grand reopening events to get the word out.
Because Glendale becoming an art destination, we have talked about it, and it is my personal dream as well if we could have an art expo. Now, it could have been the significant event we talked about it or others, but to have everything, that means a time allocated, not just a day or two, maybe a week, or maybe more, that we would have the fashion and everything, anything that has to do with anything making the world beautiful and culturally kind of sense to happen in the Glendale. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll be all around and we can see what's going on.
Personally, one thing I'd like to see more of is dance. More contemporary dance, more hip-hop, more urban dance performances within our library arts and culture experience here in Glendale. So one of the acts that we're auditioning for the library, for the Tech Arts and Culture Night, is an urban hip-hop dance crew, Filipino group that's based out of East LA. So we're really excited about that.
And also Antheus Theater opening, that would be a major thing. We need to connect with them and support them in every possible way so that, we would have everything happening. So people with different tastes and desires can come and enjoy, and hopefully then they'll go to our restaurants and enjoy the good food that we are offering, and hopefully with the hotels that are building around the process, whatever. So we would have more people coming and really making it a destination for them.
Anna has some comment.
Yeah, so I'd like to echo some of the concerns expressed here in terms of the promotion that we do for our events. I mean, there's no budget. There's budget here for artists, for this, that space, but there's no PR budget here. And I think we should really start thinking about, I mean, we have ideas, but we're not professionals in the field of how do you promote. Like, whatever we do, I never see anything in the city promoting or telling the public what we are doing. Like the Open Arts, Glendale Open Arts Festival, I could see it in the city. You know, they did a pretty good job, a little better than us anyway, in getting the word out. And if you walk around Glendale, you can see that something is happening on that day. So I think it's very important to include that. I suspect this is going to be part of our master plan, but we still have a year until we're there. But I think we really should include some part of that, and you know, some of these things that we want to create buzz around. We need to give part of the budget to it, hire people to make it happen. I think it's really, really important. Besides all the social media that goes, you know, sort of in the ether, we need to be present, have a presence in the city, physical presence in the city.
Well, you're correct that the Public Art Master Plan will inform many of our methodologies, including outreach. One aspect of the Public Art Master Plan consulting that you were really adamant about was community engagement. So we need to engage with our community and see what kind of outreach they want, how they want to be told about what we're doing, and you know, whether or not traditional advertising is what they want, et cetera. So we certainly anticipate that would be a part of our speaking to our community about public art.
Well, I do believe that we need to put some budget for that, because anything in the world that you want people to know, it needs to be promoted and professionally promoted. As it was said, lots of our events, later on people said, but we didn't know, or we didn't know when it was, or we were not reminded, you know, kind of so much that whatever you presented here, that's a lot. But, you know, I can tell you that our community maybe knows maybe not even 1/10 of that. So whatever we do so far, most probably is not enough, and I know that it needs staff, it needs specialized area to promote it. I know what community wants is important to know, but there is also a professional way of knowing how we can get to all of them, because sometimes community might not be as well aware of what are the possibilities. That if we do, it is very important for people to know what's being done. So if need budget, I think we need to work on that.
Just as a follow-up question about that, the marketing component of the programs, is it correct or incorrect that cannot be paid through the Urban Art Fund? Is that through our general fund?
The marketing aspects are being paid through our general fund, that's correct. We have a staff member who's specifically devoted to social media, and she does most of the online stuff for us. She's paid by general fund, myself and Chuck as well.
Sure. So again, going back to the PAMP, and in terms of our overall budgeting and the strategy for that, if we require as a commission more funding from the city to implement the programs that we pay for through the Urban Art Fund, then that is part of that overall strategy.
That overall conversation. And if there are policy changes that we could make to accommodate some of the things that we'd like the Urban Art Fund to pay for that now are precluded by the Urban Art Guidelines, then we're hoping that our consultant will help us frame that.
Revisiting those guidelines to bring that to council.
Sorry.
That's all right. I just wanted to make that point, because I think it not only will it be important to see how that comes out through the report, but as commissioners and as community members, we need to keep an awareness of where the money comes from, and sort of what I would consider underfunding of the department for this particular area, and that we need to be in conversation with our city council members, particularly when this becomes before them at some point, and or encouraging the community and however they might perceive it to be vocal at that through us or through their members. Another quick question, because we're talking about the marketing, for for this is that does the Library Arts and Culture Department, do you all regularly have a presence at any kind of city-sponsored events? So whether it is the downtown the car show, or it's something that Parks is putting on, where it's, I know I've seen different city tables and whatnot, but I'm just curious that those things that are sort of simple, kind of like talking about the Glendale Water and Power and putting out a notice that says, hey, this is what's happening, here's a website where you can sign up to get more information or whatever that might be, but also the relationships with the neighborhood associations, which can sometimes be more negative, I guess, in terms of people coming to the city in wanting something, and what can we deliver to them, and helping to share information with them in a friendly manner that engages their communities, because they can help spread that word. And also just presentations to city council during the open commentary periods where communities come and announce what they're doing. And I have to admit, I just haven't plugged into it as much, so I don't know what's happening. So I guess it's both a comment and a question.
Well, I think to address your comment and question, one aspect of the Urban Art Master Plan is that I think we're all assuming that it will somewhat unleash us to seek larger projects and projects that cost more money and that are indeed more marketable. So I think some of the projects that we'll be doing as a result of the Public Art Master Plan will garner more attention from the public simply because of their size and shape. But in answer to, does Library Arts and Culture staff collaborate and attend events? Yes, we do. Our children's services really do the most events because they're, the most compatible. But I'm really excited about today forming a partnership between Arts and Culture Commission, Neighborhood Services, and Traffic. And I think that as we continue with our public art program and our public art master plan, you'll see more and more of those partnerships occur because we'll have more money for projects. We've been very conservative in our spending because we wanted to be responsible until we had a plan. I'm assuming we'll be spending more money on projects and we'll be involving more departments.
Could I ask another question? I don't know if there's an answer to it or if it's whatever, this is the place or not. But I was always worried and concerned with the public art money that we have. Is there do we invest that money? Because I know that right now we have a lot of money coming in and all that because of all the construction that is in the city. But if we want to have long-term kind of planning and budgeting, is there a way, is something happening in that area, or are we privileged to know that kind of information, that how is it invested? Not that we would have a share in deciding on it, but to know that money ends if you spend it. So how do we kind of work on that?
We're somewhat limited because the money is in the city's hands, but whatever interest we earn on that money does go back to us. And the last I heard, it's based on the market, but the last I heard, the interest rate is about 1%. But we do earn that money back, which every little bit helps, if that answers your question.
So as a long term, could that investment kind of give longevity to whatever we are doing and the expenses we could have?
Well, probably not, because we are limited to whatever investment the city has.
However, our public art master plan consultant, one idea that they brought to the table that was provocative to us was this idea of additional funding sources. So they do intend to consult with us on how we can utilize our Urban Art Fund to ratchet additional funding sources. So that would be one type of interest we could be.
Within the community or with funding with Fed and state? How does that work?
All of the above. I'm not exactly sure. It was part of their proposal, and I'm certainly didn't want to reveal too much, but without being paid for it. But that's one of the aspects of their response to us that did make us excited.
Has there been a talk of different major organizations in the city, like Disney and etc., and all the major ones, to adopt any of those projects and programs in the future? So it would be continued. It would be like most of the major events in the world, they are sponsored by major organizations. So is there a way of kind of working on that as well, or ideas of how that's being done?
I think in my past, I've worked on sponsorship initiatives, and they're very intensive and they're very focused. So if we did, as a result of the Public Art Master Plan, embark upon a sponsorship initiative, it would be a very robust undertaking. I have personally worked in sponsorship, both on the private side and the public side. It's something that requires a real business approach.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Other comment? I think we exhausted everything. The last comment I want to make is I want to thank our city staff and our staff that they do an excellent job preparing all those reports, bring it to us, we discuss those things, and without you, we don't do much, actually. And this is for the public, for the city of Glendale, and we're very proud of you, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, next item, please.
Item number 6, commission and staff comments.
Any other comments?
Just one.
One only.
Okay. And that is, I tell people we do talk and we say yay or nay, but it is the department and Sharon and staff who make it happen. So as he said, thank you very much. It's very important because they ask, what are you guys doing? I said, we just talk and yay and nay. Come with ideas, but they fly. Thank you.
I want to congratulate our Commissioner Sean for becoming a new father. Last meeting was here, but we expect at least another 5 from you, okay?
I'll share that with my wife and report back at the next meeting.
You need a work plan on that.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just 3, I think. One is I just want to give a quick update because I'm on the panel. I'm representing our commission for the Burbank Art installation selection, and I just want to let you know that we did have our second meeting, which was 3 finalists that we were able to interview in person, and 1 on Skype, and they were 3 great finalists. 1 has been chosen. I would announce that, but I actually think it has to go through a couple more approvals, so I'm going to not do that. But I will tell you that it was a really interesting experience. It was really great for us to be a part of this conversation, I think. I think the folks from the Hollywood Burbank Airport, as it is now known, are really just really invested in this and really want it to be a great thing. And it was some really great dialogue between from our Pasadena representatives and Burbank representatives and the consultant there. So that will come out soon. And I think the idea, too, is to bring our commissions together. That's one of the things they wanted to do, and have us be able to meet each other and see what the artwork is going to be and meet the artists and all that. So that's forthcoming. The other thing I want to do, because it's sort of the end of the year and that December time and holidays from whatever spiritual place people come from, but I wanted to say a lot of times it's gift giving, and to remember our artists and our creative community when we're out there spending our hard-earned dollars to give back to our community, to give back to our artists. I think it's a really important and fabulous thing to do. There's tons of craft fairs and opportunities. And the other thing I just want to say is I feel, and I mean being more revealing than I often am, but I just think it's a really hard time in the world right now, here in our nation and across the country. And I just think it shows how important the arts are. I think even more so, and we are a reflection of our community, of our society, with advocacy, with beauty, communication. And I think what we do is incredibly important and incredibly powerful. And so I do want to thank my fellow commissioners and staff and our community for being a part of this, because it is more important now, I think, than it has been in a really long time. And happy holidays.
That was only 2.
That was
3? Okay. All right. Go ahead. So.
And I just want to say it's an honor to serve with all of you. I think we should all be very proud. I know we rarely take a break to look back at all the work that gets done, mostly by our staff, not by us. But just want to thank all of you, thank all the staff, and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays to everybody.
And last, I want to say a few thank you words. Happy holidays to everyone with their family. Let peace be generous this year and become not only in Glendale, but California and USA and all around the world. I attended the Christmas party at the city at the convention center. It was a great party, as usual. I was expecting to see a few of you guys, but I missed it, I guess, but I hope next year you guys make it. I also want to take a moment and thank our fire department, police department, that they keep us safe and protected, and of course the city council and the mayor, that they trust us with their art decisions, and we are advising them something that we have a mean and to be very proud of. So therefore, this is all thank you to our staff and all the city staff that they put from the Christmas tree, they clean the streets, they do everything for the city of Glendale. Thank you for them, and thank you for our public. There we go. Any other comments?
Just thank you again, Chris, the guy, I don't know what's the last name, I heard, that did all the decorations downstairs. Chris?
Buffalo.
We'll acknowledge him publicly. Chris Peplow
Very good.
is a gem.
Because he's a gem, that's art, that's culture, everything he has done. It is, city looks almost edible with all the candy canes and cookies and etc. They're beautiful job done, excellent. I like the new desk that we have. I was very impressed to see that we have an officer sitting there and welcoming and kind of guiding people. That was a very nice touch. That was very good. So we are all very proud, and as that, Happy New Year and happy holidays to everyone.
Last item.
Well, there are no written communications. The last item is number 8, adjournment.
The meeting adjourned.